everyone. I'm going to be talking to you guys today about the photographer Bill Owens, and I'm going to be showing you the mimics I did over some of his work. So early life, he was born in 1938 in San Jose, California. He studied visual anthropology at San Francisco State College, and then he eventually dropped out before he graduated to kind of embark on this hitchhiking trip around the world. And it's said that he kind of fell in love with photography during this trip. He eventually did come back, and he finished his education at Chico State College. After that, he served in the Peace Corps in Jamaica, which he has a collection from his time there. And then after he came back home from the Peace Corps, he started his career, kind of his photography career as a staff photographer for one of his local California newspapers. Professional career, so he's most known for a series called Suburbia, which he shot in 1972 and published in 1973. It was recognized as one of the most seminal photography books of the 20th century. And what he did over a series of 52 days, he really was able to capture 1970s suburban life. And I'll talk about it in the next slide. But he has this really great, kind of social commentary that goes with the slides because during the 1970s, it was, the height of the Vietnam War. There was racial injustice, all these things happening in the United States, and he kind of captured this, essence of suburbia that's almost like blissfully unaware of these other things going on in the country and in the world. Um, he had a bunch more collections. He published 4 books total. One of the other books is just titled Working, published later in 1976. That's kind of on the same kind of general framework of suburbia. He kind of captured the quirks of middle class working Americans. Very, very cool, very interesting. So Owen's photography style is best described as a mix between, neutral photojournalism and, combined with deadpan commentary. Um, the thing, he has that anthropological perspective, studying visual anthropology in college. He kind of uses that, I guess, that experience to really capture, like time in a place. With Suburbia, for example, he really captures, 1970s middle class suburban neighborhoods. Um, he uses very well defined shooting schedules, which kind of goes back to that, photojournalism, having kind of like, a rigid plan for everything. And he shoots mostly in black and white. Basically, all of his, works up until the early 2000s, were in black and white. And then, later he does, digital and he uses color. I mentioned, yeah, Owens' seminal work is called Suburbia, where he captures, suburban life in the 1970s, middle class Americans. So kind of the theme I wanted to have throughout my mimics was what I kind of called Norwoodia, which is kind of taking that middle class suburban life and kind of taking the essence of those photos, but applying it to Norwood in our kind of college community. Um, so the first photo is from his series titled Leisure. The caption is, I only play croquet once a year on the 4th of July. The rest of the year we spend at our neighborhood pool drinking beer. So obviously Bill's photo is of a white middle class American playing croquet in his front yard. And so the way I kind of wanted to translate that is I had my friend basically playing golf in his backyard, whereas, in Bill's picture, the guy's, wearing, nice trousers and I think they're loafers, and my friend's wearing pajama pants and sneakers. And I thought kind of, croquet is this, old timey suburban, you play it on the lawn, whereas in college that's a little, too posh for us. So, I thought golf might be a good substitute for that croquet. Photo is from his series Suburbia. It's unentitled, and what he really captured in his was kind of order, and everything is kind of in this pattern. It has a space. Translating that into Norwoodia, I kind of wanted to have an eclectic and almost a fridge that really doesn't make sense. On the first level, there's like four different kinds of coffee creamer. Everything's kind of shattered all over the place. There's leftovers. It's all messy. And so I thought kind of translating the clean suburban um, fridge versus the kind of messy and eclectic college fridge. This photograph is from the Suburbia collection. It's titled "We're Really Happy, Our Kids Are Healthy, We Eat Good Food, and We Have a Really Nice Home." So Bill's photo, like I keep saying, kind of really captures that middle class suburban life, the idea that you work hard, save up money, buy a car, buy a house, get married, have kids, kind of this very mature essence. Whereas my Norwoodia mimic, I kind of wanted to capture, some of the goofiness of college life. So, instead of the baby, we have like a mannequin head, and we're kind of posing as actors in this photo, which I thought was really cool. The fourth photo is also from the Suburbia series, and it is untitled. And I think Bill's photo kind of captures that youthful energy, brotherly camaraderie, watching TV in the living room with your brother. And I wanted to translate that into my Norwoodia mimic. Um, you know, Basically two of my friends, college kids, sitting on the ground staring at a blank TV. Um, it was originally plugged in at first, but I thought it looked kind of funny and kind of more, in the essence of college life, to have that unplugged, just blatantly unplugged, with all the bills on the counter too, as opposed to the magazines in Bill's photo. Last one is from his series titled "Our Kind of People," and it is an untitled photo. And I thought this was kind of the easiest one to recreate and the easiest one to do, since kind of the essence of um, Bill's photo is, looks like young college kids drinking beer, and that was kind of very easy to translate into the Norwoodia mimic that I was doing. You for watching, and I look forward to seeing your critiques and comments. Thanks.